Hey everybody, it's fall here in East Tennessee, and fall means pumpkins, but it also means apples. And today we're going to make apple butter, one of my favorites. So I've got a half a bushel of wine sap apples. Different people like different kinds. This is what I used last time. I really love them. Look how beautiful that apple is. And it's nice and big too. So we're going to peel them, we're going to cut them up, we're going to put them in this pot, and we're going to stew them all day long practically. I also have this crock set out here so that we can save our peels and our cores, and we're going to make some apple cider vinegar out of those. The things that we're going to use today are brown sugar, white sugar, cinnamon, cloves, and a little bit of apple cider vinegar, and of course our apples. So let's start peeling. So this little apple peeler and corer is a nice tool to have around when you're doing this. It makes life much easier. If you have one of the nice stand mixers, you can also get an attachment that would do that. I haven't got that yet, but that's hopefully in the future. Another tool that you will need is a mill to run your apples through at the end after they've cooked down. And that will get all these little pieces of peel that might get left behind, or little pieces of core. It'll help to strain out any major chunks, or mush down any major chunks. Now I'm just going to quarter it, make sure I don't have any bad spots. Put it into our pot. You'll also need your basic canning supplies. If you need a refresher on what those will be, you can watch my strawberry jam recipe or video and check those out. We won't need pectin for this. This one you just cook it for a really long time to get it to the thickness and color that you want.
There you go. Keep going. Keep going. Back there. That works.
We've got our apples peeled. We put them on the stove. Now I'm going to add 3 cups of white sugar. And 3 cups of brown sugar. Try to stir that in a little without overflowing it. And it will cook down. The apples will create some liquid and it'll start to boil. Enough to add my other stuff. I've also got 6 tablespoons of cinnamon. And again, now this is to about a half bushel of apples, which is about 18 to 20 pounds of apples. You can have the recipe accordingly if you don't want to use that much. This is 2 tablespoons of cloves. And in jellies, you usually use some lemon juice to add some acidity if you don't have a very acidic fruit. In this case, I'm going to use a little apple cider vinegar. This is a 1/4 cup of apple cider vinegar just to add a little acidity to it. Okay, we're going to cook that down until the apples are mushy enough to run through our mill and attempt to get all this stuff stirred in. We've been cooking this for about 2.5 hours at this point. You just have to cook it down. You don't have to mash it or anything. It gets that nice applesauce consistency. Now we're going to run it through the mill and cook it for at least another 4 hours. We have it all milled now. If you stopped here, you'd have a really good applesauce. But if you want true apple butter, you're going to cook it low and slow. So like I said, at least another 4 hours until it gets to the desired color and flavor. I'm a stovetop kind of gal, but there's other folks I know that will use the crock pot or the oven for this part. That's up to you. You want to stir it frequently. You don't have to stir constantly for 4 hours, but you do want to stir it frequently with all that sugar in it. You don't want it to stick. And also it gets hot and it'll bubble. You don't want it to bubble over either. So we'll check back on this periodically and then we'll jar it. All right, it's about 5 hours later. Look how nice and dark and thick that is. Isn't that pretty? You can see the big difference in the color change. So it's done now. We've got our jars ready and we're about to can it. And that's all you need to do. And you have apple butter. All right, we're finally finished. It's been about a 10-hour process, but after 8 hours of cooking, isn't that pretty? Look at that pretty caramel color. It's definitely well worth it when you put it on that hot butter biscuit. We also have our little crock sitting here where we put our apples and peels, and we'll have a video of that apple cider vinegar coming up soon for you too. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy.
Thanks for watching Preserving the Old-Fashioned Way.
Please leave a like and subscribe for more videos.